样感觉就是I mean I'm mobile is fine. It's noisy and
Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2. Okay, we're going to start the mic check. I'm going to go around the room. Hopefully you can hear me on the live stream. This is microphone number 1. Microphone number 1, check, check, 1, 2. Microphone number 3, this is the super mic. We don't have a second mic. So this is the superintendent mic number 3. I'm just going to tweak this for a second so we're getting a little bit of feedback. Okay, we're going to try 3 again, just a little tweak. Still hearing a little twinge. Be right back. Again with number 3. Number 3, I think I fixed the feedback there. Hopefully it's loud enough. That's number 3. Mic number 4, President Mike. Microphone number 4. This one sounds pretty good. Mic number 4. Microphone number 5. This one is a tough one. Mic number 5. Got to tweak that a little bit. Mic number 5, mic number 5. Mic number 5, check, check, 1, 2. And last tweak, number 5. This one's not used all that much, but I think we're okay. Mic number 6, mic number 6. It's got a little bit of feedback on that. Volume's good, but I'm going to go back and tweak this real quick. Mic 6. Microphone number 6. I think we're okay with that, Mic 6. This is the student microphone right here, student rep mic. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That one sounds pretty good. Student rep mic. And you may not be able to see me on screen, but this is the podium mic for presentations, podium mic. Just have to make a little bit of a tweak to this, but the volume is pretty good. One more time on the podium mic. Okay, you got to go to the feedback, podium mic, podium mic. Okay, that should be all the mics. You hear me now. You should be able to hear me right at the camera. Hopefully the sound was okay. Seem to be coming through the speakers fine, so hopefully we're good. Go ahead at this point then and post that to the main site, please. And I'm going to mute the mics, which I just need you to confirm that it's muted here. Okay, muting the mics in 3, 2, 1. 2. Check on 2.
We'll start with roll call. To my left, we have Dr. Roper, trustee. Sidway, trustee. Dr. Parker, trustee. Kuhn, trustee. Dr. Ryan Graham, our superintendent of schools. Myself, Sue Marster, trustee. Jay Grover, trustee. Joy Marker, trustee. Daniel Bruno, trustee. John Fitzpatrick, assistant superintendent of curriculum, staff development, and human resource. Cheryl Cardone, assistant superintendent of pupil personnel services. That doesn't help. Doug Whalen is interim assistant superintendent for school finances, that's what we're saying. And Charlotte Tyler, our Board of Education student representative. In case of an emergency, we will use the entrance that you guys remember is directly behind you. And for board members, we do have everybody present here this evening, so before everybody leaves and at the end of the meeting, we would like to get a picture for so people will sit down at the end. All right, so we will start with the approval of the agenda. If I can give a motion, please. A second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. And an approval of the minutes for this evening. If I can give a motion. And a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. On to correspondence.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today at Sidway for our board meeting. If you're new to board meetings, the board will visit every building throughout the school year and have meetings at different buildings. And before we move on with our agenda, I'd like to just take this moment to recognize this group that's in front of you today, the Board of Education, and recognize that their impact in this district extends far beyond these meetings. You may or may not know, in October is School Board Appreciation Month across New York State, And this is a time that the New York State School Boards Association sets a little time aside in October to thank our Board of Education members. You also may not know that Board of Education members do not get paid. This is a volunteer service that they provide in each school district across the state. And each of the people sitting in front of you today spend countless hours reviewing the Board of Education materials, our policies, our budget, student data, and community concerns. These individuals are here to help all of our students. Many of them do not do this for accolades or special recognition, but they do it because of our students, which is admirable for sure. Their decisions shape the direction of our district, from everything from safety to the success of special programs that are really mandated by the community throughout Grand Island. And while the community only sometimes sees the results of these meetings, they rarely see all of the time, thought, and reflection that goes into being a board trustee. So tonight we do want to change some of that perception. We want to recognize this group as a leadership team and thank them for what they do for our students, teachers, staff, and faculty throughout our district, and how it resonates throughout the community. Today you'll see lots of tokens of appreciation, handwritten cards. I think there's a book which is beautiful on the table for our board. The cutting boards from the high school that we're thanking you to the high school. We want to thank not only our high school and middle school, Sidway, and youth, everybody has contributed to these thoughtful and heartfelt messages. And I am proud to serve alongside this Board of Education. We really do have a partnership. There's a lot of trust and a lot of work that goes into creating a vision to keep moving forward in a positive way for our students. So if you would be so kind as to join me in some recognition to the board and the round of applause for their hard work.
Just from the board, we really appreciate the recognition. We all do serve from a special place and a passion for education and the success of our students and for the future. I know for myself, I serve from the heart and from the passion and for the love of Grand Island. I don't know, I don't know if anybody wants to share how long we've been on the board, on the long table, not. Anybody has any words they want to share for why they serve? Please say thank you.
So thank you, Technology Department too, for the cutting boards. They are beautiful. I will definitely use it. I love it. And thank you, Jude, for the cookies, right? I love the cut cookies. They're so good. Shout out. I have to give a shout out to whomever made them. They are so good. They can be crazy, but they are good every year. So thank you for those, and thank you for all the notes and the cards. This is my 9th and final year on the board, and I've loved every minute of it. Love working with Dr. Graham, and love working with Jude, and all board colleagues. And originally I thought it would be a good fit for me. I've been teaching 30 years now, and have been able to travel around New York State and see a lot of school districts as a New York State Teacher of the Year, and have been inducted into the National Teachers Hall of Fame. And I will say that Grand Island Schools, after seeing many schools around the state and around the country, is definitely a gem, and it is a wonderful, wonderful school district. I'm very, I was very happy with my daughter's successes. I've got an older daughter that's finishing up medical school now, and another one that's accepted into an early acceptance program for medical school. So I believe in our schools is another reason why I joined. I think we have outstanding schools here on Grand Island, and great leadership, both from the board and from all of our administrators, really. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve to the community and to for all the support over the years from my fellow colleagues on the board.
tell was this comment that for a lot of the same reasons when she served, that's what I did. 7 years ago, I ran, not really knowing what this job entailed, what was going to happen, but I knew the schools were great, and I wanted to go in and connect with the support. Ran 7 years later, and I love serving, and really for the kids at the end of the day, as much support as we can.
Same for me. I've actually been on the board now 10 years, and I remember walking around in Halloween with my daughter in a stroller at a year old and painting, going door to door, because I had recently moved here. I didn't know a lot of people, but I knew that I wanted to get involved in my community, and I knew with my daughter that I should be going to the school district. So I wanted to be a part of that. And I took her door to door. We walked in the first 4th of July parade, and now she's 11 in 6th grade. So it's the most rewarding experience when you see stuff like this at the district, because you don't realize the decisions, well, you do realize the decisions that we make, but the impact that they have on kids for what we do. So I always think that you for keeping us out here and letting us advocate for children and for safety and for everything. So it's been a great learning experience, and it's been free learning, and so I don't know, still learning to learn, I guess. So I don't know. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, thank you all for letting us take the time to show our appreciation to our community. And Joy really did touch on that. I'm in my 13th year as a board member, and I mean, I can remember years, when your foundation aid was going to be cut, and we spent sleepless nights deciding what's going to be cut. And thankfully, we didn't have to do that here on our island. We really take our decisions seriously, and we sit here and we make tough decisions, and we really do a great job, and we really do all we can to support the students. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to say thank you back to our community and the administration here for allowing us to do what we do. So, yeah, thank you. Okay. Public comment session for agenda items. We did not have anybody sign up, so on to curriculum and instruction. Mr. Stafford.
Thank you very much. In curriculum and instruction, we have an action item where we adopt, if it is board, we adopt 3 novels, 2 in 7th grade and 1 in 6th grade.
Can I do a motion, please? And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7.
Thank you. And you'll see our professional development, our curriculum and instruction flyer that we're starting to put out each month. We're trying to create an environment where it's focused on engagement in instruction, empowerment, creating a sense of belonging for everyone every day. Our months are jam-packed with professional development. And so what we'll see is professional development that has been going on throughout the month of September. And I do want to point out, we are part of the pilot project. Grand Island is one of 13 schools in Washington right now who collaborates with the Modern Learners community. The Modern Learners community is helping us prepare for a graduate and what that will entail and what that will look like in our schools. Hillary Kretz-Harvey and Felicia Blaschi and myself and Amy McMahon are going to it's quite extensive work. We have about 3 or 4 online meetings a month. We have a couple meetings that take place in person in BOCES, and we're ahead of the game in terms of preparing for the portion of the graduate measures that come out in 2027. And later on, hopefully very soon, I'll be explaining more about what those portion of the graduate characteristics entail. To keep you up to date.
Personal use. Does anybody have any questions before I ask for a motion? All right, then I will ask for a motion to approve the instruction second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. Do you have any questions?
I think David has some trouble with everybody.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Graham, and district administrators. I'm pleased to introduce Jennifer Florio as our new teaching assistant over at Pegadine. Mrs. Florio brings a strong background in education and student support to our district. She was a student teacher at Pegadine several years ago and has served as a building-based substitute with Pegadine since the beginning of the school year. Mrs. Florio holds a bachelor's degree in childhood education from Buffalo State College and a master's in theology and Christian education from Concordia University. Mrs. Florio is known for her excellent communication skills, adaptability, and commitment to creating a positive learning environment. She always has a smile on her face and is willing to jump in to support teachers and students. From the first day of school, Mrs. Florio has made herself an invaluable member of our school community, and we couldn't be happier to have her join us as a teaching assistant this year. So congratulations, Mrs. Florio.
Personnel non-instructional. Can I get a motion to approve P9 1 through P9 3, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. On to finance. That's you? You know what, they're just requesting that you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Doug. I'm going to go over this PowerPoint presentation. We did meet with the audit committee earlier today, and so we went a little bit more depth. So I'm going to kind of keep this at a high level, just to kind of hit some of the highlights. But please let me know if you have any questions. So in that whole packet, there's few reports in here. So the first one here, kind of the main reason that we required to do, required by the state, is the report on the financial statements. So basically what that report says is that your job is to ensure that the financial statements are in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. Our job as auditors is to express an opinion whether they are or not, and we issue a clean, unmodified opinion, that's the thing we can issue, so good job once again. There is also a report in there required by the government auditing standards that basically states that part of the whole audit process, we need to evaluate internal controls, so the cash receipts, your disbursement, your payroll cycles, in order to express an opinion in that first report. But if we come across anything, you're required to put, state that in the report, and those no matters for folks, so it's been good. The next report is in accordance with uniform guidance, single audit act. This is district required to have this when we have spend over $750,000 in federal grants. So you're at $1.8 million. Then we're required to test at least 20% of those federal expenditures. So we look at your special education program cluster, which is IDEA 611, 619 programs. The one thing I'll point out, you can see, and it's a little small there, is last year we had close to about $3.8 million in federal grants. That was due to those COVID grants from 2020 on. So those finally expired in September 2024. That was about $1.5 million in ARPA funds in the prior year. And we had no issues with no findings related to these special education costs. The next report, this is a required communications to use report. Very boilerplate standard language, so I'm not going to go down all of them, but if you can kind of see, reading each of them, there's no difficulties encountered in the audit, there's no incorrect statements, and other audit findings or issues noted during the audit. This report report as well. This is where we have some comments, observations. A lot of these we've had comments in the past, so I'm not going to go over it for the sake of time, but if you have any questions or just things that kind of keep improving out, mostly in the business office. Then we'll kind of get into our numbers here. So overall, you can kind of see we have about a $2,226,000 surplus this year. Last year was closer to 6.5, and we'll talk about on the next couple of slides of how that was. But another solid surplus. The deficit is our capital project fund. That's just through timing. That's our smart bonds project that we had, about $400,000 in technology updates this past year. We'll get reimbursed hopefully this upcoming December. Food service, you can see, had a great year. $371,000 surplus this year. $229,000 surplus. Last year that was $144,000, so we still did about $80,000 better. If you look at that number 3 years ago, we were at a deficit of $2,000, so we've come up a lot. Our revenues were almost 1.6 this year. Last year about 1.4, so we're up the exact number is 235,000, but 18% revenues. Our expenses also went up $150,000, so up about 13%. So great job everybody turning around. That is due to our reimbursement rate from federal and state, but also the CSD program where we're becoming free ministers. So great trend to see. And then also miscellaneous special revenue, that's just for scholarships that we had. We didn't issue that much more scholarships. A lot of those funds in the prior year should have been housed over in the general fund, so they got kind of cleaned up a little bit. But that $46,000 number is a little bit more accurate. Next, if you go this is our total of revenue in the general fund this past year. We went up 2%, $1.1 million. Property taxes were $955,000 of that, or our approved budget. State aid did decrease a little bit. Some of our aid, especially in our building projects, are starting to fall off, as well as there's a reduction just with the state allocated out to us. Sales tax, that's all from Erie County, that went up about 3%, $150,000. And then other, that went up $200,000. $184,000 was just in interest earnings. We're up about actually $1.3 million in interest earnings just through the various investment activities. So that's been great to see good cash connection. Expenses are up $5.6 million this year. So the biggest things in our salaries, that went up 2.6 this past year, 8%. That's partly due to us having those ARPA grants where it was a special fund in the prior years of about $1.2 million, but they got moved back over the general fund. So that's the main reason. Outside of that, our salaries would be up about 4%, just due to our contractual collective bargaining agreements. Health insurance also increased $2.4 million from the prior year. That was due to health insurance rates of 10%, and then we actually just had an increase of 17% on claims as this brings out. So nothing we can really do about that. Retirement systems increased as well, just due to the rates, the TRS and ERS requires together. And then the only other thing that kind of changed a lot is transportation and other. That's up $613,000, just due to insurance, utilities, building survey costs, things like that, tuition, additional students as well. And that's all I really had. This slide is more just converting into a full goal. So it kind of shows all the long-term assets, a lot of actuarial calculations, but I'll skip that. That's all I really had.
One of the things I just want to mention is when I came into the district, as I do with every district, I do a fund balance calculation, and it was included in the packet. And I wanted to give you an idea of your revenue came in, how much you expended, and your new amount, if you look at that. And that new amount, which is the $26 million, you've improved your position from $23 million roughly to $26 million. And then where's that $26 million? And it's in these various reserve accounts. So when you talk about reserves, we're going to talk a little later about them. That's the money you have in balance. And on the bottom of it, it shows how much you're allowed to have in balance, 4% of your budget. And then it shows what you have in balance, and then gives you the assets. So it's just a very high level summary for my purposes, and maybe it's beneficial to you as well to see how your district is doing and where you have your money.
Jeremy, I thank you. I really appreciate the hard work of your agency, and I'm getting lots of good feedback from our business office, Lori and Jill and everybody, Jane, everybody who works with you. Really great feedback, so we appreciate your professionalism and helping us stay up to date with all rules, regulations as it comes to auditing.
Yes, thank you. You know, it's a little different looking this year, so we really appreciate all your hard work and time.
And if you could take us through the next few items for the board, that would be great.
So we've seen the audit report. The next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the draft audit report. This is in draft form because there may be a couple of funky material. There may be a couple of things changed in the wording, and it's being looked at right now. We have to send this to the state by October 15th. So there won't be any material changes in the numbers. So we're asking and we're recommending for acceptance.
Well, I think one of the parts is that 615,000, when we just mentioned that we had in excess. I do have a question on that. I know the recommendation is to put that into our capital project. I was just wondering if we had options for that. I know in years past we've taken on our reserves and lost money to third in the next tax year for our budget. We have a very supportive community. They support our budgets, they support our capital projects. And right now, costs are going up on everything. They're being burdened at the grocery store, they're being burdened with taxes, everything. I'm just wondering if it's an option, or we have the opportunity to put that in a fund that could lessen your tax burden in the next budget, instead of putting it in the capital fund. Like, and then that way maybe we're not taxing it to our mass in the spring. And it kind of be a relief to that, and thank you, and a kind gesture to our taxpayers who support everything we do. I know one time we took money out of our reserves and didn't tax like that. So I'm just asking the question, and I know it's kind of late in the game, but we are kind of under the gun. But for me, I'd rather give them a break sooner rather than later.
It's a very good question. You end of the year, you have 615,575 level. The law requires us to put it in a reserve. That's the first thing. We can only have a 4% balance, so we're going to have a lot of comment, and we're going to have people from all the state. I want to know why we have over 4%. The way this works is if you look at the reserves, we put it into a reserve. In this case, we're recommending it go into the capital reserve because we're using, right now the capital reserve has $1.9 million in it. We're using that to offset the taxes on the proposed capital project. So we're putting it in there to raise that offset to $2.5 million. So that in a way lessens the burden for the capital project. Now, in addition to that, you have these other quotes, bank accounts or reserves, like retirement expenses and others. And And when you construct your budget, if you want to lessen the amount that you would normally budget for retirement, let's just say, and use some of the money from the reserve to support that, in other words, lessen the budget amount, having less impact on your taxpayers, and supporting it from money that you have in these reserves. That's the way you can do that.
But there's no way to use the 615,000.
Not right now. I mean, it wouldn't be appropriate to put it into new programs because you.
I'm not saying put it in, I'm saying save it, instead of
Save it.
putting it into, put it into a fund
Mhm.
that we can use instead of taking money from our community members.
Well, there's only 11 different reserves.
Right.
You can't just develop another fund.
No, I appreciate that.
So you need to transfer it into one of those reserves and then use it as best you can to offset taxes in the future. And we're recommending going to the capital at this point,
I understand.
because it lessens the burden for the capital project.
Yeah, I just would like, I would just like to see it be faster for them, right? I mean, and if it can't happen, I just, they're so supportive, and it's, and then the capital projects, it's just gonna lessen our debt service, and it's really not gonna be a 600 flow straight through to our taxpayers. It just doesn't flow 600,000 straight through to them. They won't see that rate of income if we could take it out of the budget.
So I have the 11 reserve categories, forgive me, I'm not sure, what all 11 are. So is there a reserve that will allow us to move that money into there to use those, so we don't get that tax cut out of one of the 11, or is it, I don't know what the categories are.
I don't know what they, I don't have enough, but you have most of them listed. There's not an easy way to transfer that to the taxpayers to offset the tax rate.
We've done it in the past.
But you've taken it out of the reserve and offset that expense in the budget, most likely.
I don't know what Ron Calvin would be as our finance officer. We did it, I'm not really sure what it looked like, but we did lessen the rate at one time.
I
And
think a couple, yeah, I don't see, because I remember when we made the motion.
When we made the motion.
Seconded, and we went on to discuss that Len's motion was to move some of that money out of the reserves to lessen the burden we can in on the council, and if we want to see council. And this is what we are.
most of them are right.
It's been a while.
So it's prior to Dr. Graham too, so we don't have time on this.
Because at first, and how I remember is because I thought, oh, this is. And something will do it. But it was
It's basically, I think I know what they're doing is they're taking, let's say unemployment, that's another issue. We would lessen the amount of budget for unemployment, and we would pay for the unemployment bill, some from the unemployment reserve.
We use
That's some
access,
from the
we
budget.
use access, we have access money, and that's why it was this exact same situation, we have access money, and we used it to lessen the burden on our taxpayers.
Doug, I may not know the detail, but is it possible years ago that our unassigned fund balance was over 4%? And maybe they used some of those funds to offset
That's
the
what
budget.
Last year, we transferred 500,000, just 500,000 plus the interest on those, so we transferred there.
Yes.
To offset. In the same way that we're trying to transfer the 600.
I was just wondering if we could do it differently, that's all, just to ease, going into our budget season and give some relief to our taxpayers on our next budget. I mean, if we can, we can. You're saying there's no way, then there's not a way. But we had access like this the last time, I don't remember the particulars, but they were wanting to do kind of the same
you're putting that up for vote, and you're saying the tax rate on this budget is so much. They are lowering that budget by using some money from reserves to lower that budget, because they're paying for expenses partly out of the reserve and partly from the budget.
But but this money would be in the reserves, and that's the thing I would be taking. So we wouldn't be lessening our expenses, we would just be using this money.
And so how does that, so this is my first experience, we have this capital reserve account, right? You can't, frankly, capital reserve, so how, when we use our own money, right, we get roughly 7% reimbursement in this capital loans. 71%. So when we use our own money, how is the reimbursement?
Well, what happens is you'll have a capital project that will be spread out over 15 or 20 years. You'll put in your budget the principal and interest payment, just like a house, like a mortgage, and you get the state aid on the principal and interest payment. So it's not as if you have a $69.2 million capital project, and you're getting 71% of $69.2 million, and that cash comes into the district as well. It's broken down into principal and interest payments, and over time, each one of those principal and interest payments generates 71% building aid. And on the revenue side of your budget, you will have building aid, you'll have state aid, which will be broken down into multiple different categories of state aid. One of them will be building aid. And money will be given on the capital project that we do. Yes, sounds back as a form of doing on the revenue side.
And just generally speaking, that's why it's recommended that boards of educations are always pursuing a capital project, so that when the debt falls off, it's not a shock to the taxpayers. So that to always have those payments to be able to alleviate that keeps us level.
So that is later on the agenda, but right now we're asking for a motion to accept the draft.
Yeah, I still don't understand why that money can't be moved into another fund. I guess that's my question, why can't we move into another fund and use for something else? I guess that's still my question.
Well, I guess what we could do is we could take this.
So we can't, because this has, we have to, and that it has to be out, right? So we can't table it, we just have to accept it, and that's unfortunate. I think they wanted it now. I gave the situation we're in, that's where we're at, right? So, yeah, but we don't have another meeting, so, let's go.
It's really the most critical of this thing.
I appreciate that, but with, I would be understanding, I hate voting for something, and I hate doing something. I don't understand the answer, and I still don't understand why I can't go into another fund, and our community, but we'll just move on.
Hey, in the past though, I know the special meeting where we don't have meetings.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's just go through the rest of it. I mean, it's me, and I don't know what everybody else thinks, but for me, I don't understand it, and I feel really dumb. So let's just go through the rest of it, and we'll make a motion for all of them.
So we
It says A through F.
We need to draft it.
So, I guess we need to do a separate roll call vote for that, so let's start with you, Roger. Ashley? Pam? She abstained. Pam?
When I started, comfortable in amending the county law. I would like to place my, I would like to abstain tonight.
And I'm abstaining. Four passed. Okay, and then, just want to go over anything you blew up.
Are you doing one motion per issue? How is that?
That's how it's on here. Let me see. Is that transfer in item 2? 4615, or is that? Okay, so E is the transfer, correct? Okay, so I'm going to put E out. What's that? The roll call was for the, okay. And E is for that 16. So we're going to write that out, we're going to go. Okay. We're gonna pull E out and we're gonna do a motion for E separate. So, did you want to go over anything? Can I get a motion for A through E and F, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 7-0. And can I get a motion for E, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Opposed, okay. No. You did the audit. The roll call was for the audit, not the transfer. But the transfer was in the audit. So Danielle and Joy abstaining, and I'm a no. So let's just say 4 years, no, interest. Okay. Thank you. On to special education. Okay. All right. Board of Education report. You have 2 reports in here, is there anything you want to add? Okay. All right. On to public comment session, general item. Not included on the agenda. I just have to read this before we have someone to sign up. So at this time, public comments are invited from those individuals who desire to address the Board of Education on any topic which is not on the agenda. Residents who have previously signed up to speak will be recognized by the president. When speaking, please identify yourself first. Speak clearly and loudly enough for everyone in the room to hear you. Speakers are requested to limit their remarks to not more than 3 minutes. To appoint a spokesperson if a concern is a group concern, and if necessary or desired, to supplement verbal presentations with their reports. Personal comments for a member of the community, staff, or Board of Education will not be considered appropriate. Jacqueline Kern.
Good evening. My voice is kind of gone, so I apologize. My name is Jacqueline Kern. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I have a couple of serious concerns regarding children's safety. The first day of school, I went to pick up my child, and he was not in the room for pickups. The principal stated he might be in the classroom still. Might is not a definitive word. Are we able to account for all children's safety without knowing where they are? This now brings me to my second issue that needs to be addressed. The pickup drop-off at Sidway has been very difficult and time-consuming, affecting my jobs, which is not the issue any longer with the experience I had today. All staff and drivers' primary concern should be safety. My son turned 6 years old on September 17th. Today, the bus arrived 7 minutes early at 3:28. Our bus drop-off time is at 3:35. I ran downstairs to put my flip-flops on. Mind you, not sneakers to tie, but flip-flops. Before I could even put my second sandal on, my barely 6-year-old was already at my back door, and the driver had already pulled away. With that being said, on March 20th, 2008, my friend was kidnapped from her bus stop. She was 12 years old. She was repeatedly drugged and raped after she was taken by a man who reported her walking to her bus stop, a block or two away from her home. Luckily, she escaped by tying bedding together and ran home to her mother. Can we imagine what might happen to a 6-year-old without the ability to climb out of a second-story window? This issue needs to be addressed immediately. These are problems we as parents shouldn't have to worry about. This is besides being disregarded and blatantly ignored with other issues I have already mentioned to some of you on the phone. Single parents are being excluded, disregarded, ignored, and disrespected. My job as a mother is to protect my child and others from harm. So how are we going to address these issues today? That was actually a question. That was not rhetorical.
Unfortunately, we listened to your comments. This isn't an open conversation. So we'll take your concerns and we'll discuss them as a board.
I really hope so, because a 6-year-old should not be left on his own without a key, without anybody home. Luckily, I did get out today, but they would have no idea. A stranger could have grabbed my child off the side of the road. And this is, I guarantee, mine is not the only one it's happening to, but I will be the first person to say something. So I hope it is taken care of, because I will continue to come to every single meeting until I am regarded and not ignored any longer. Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate your comments and concerns. And go to the committee for ordinance and information. Mr. Alvarez.
I just want to say that I know, the first month of school, the first 2 months of school, very busy, while trying to make adjustments and everything like that. So I appreciate your comments, and I also appreciate all the hard work that the school is doing, and we're kept up to date on all the goings on, all the adjustments, all the last minute changes, and continuously working to make things better, safer, and more enjoyable for everybody. I know the homecoming at the high school, and everyone seemed to have a great time for a lot of great things about that. There have been so many great activities that have been going on, and so we're just going to continue to make changes and continue to work together, and obviously be prepared for students' interest in this
I would just like to second what Barbara said, and thank Dr. Graham and the district and the grounds people that took care of the kids. That really got it. So we really appreciate everyone's comments. We'll definitely listen and discuss it with the board.
So just a huge shout out to all the high school administrators, staff, teachers, everyone that
I think those kids are absolutely fantastic.
Michelle, do you have anything to share? Homecoming, anything fun?
PowerPoint.
Yeah, homecoming would be, was a great success. Everybody, all the college activities participated in the student days, and, this is fun. And, Friday had a happy hour, which was great. And then Saturday, was decorations were great.
Yep, I wanted to show the board, just if you want to look at the screen behind you or to your left. These are just some of the photos from homecoming. We thank everybody, all of our teachers, administrators, all of our staff who made homecoming so special for our students. We also have the passing the torch, which really was a very special event. This is the second year, and we want to thank Cheryl O'Connor for bringing this idea to us a year ago, and the collaboration between the Sidway and the high school, organizing all of our kindergarten students to be on our football field with our high school students. I want to thank Jeff and Tina Osler, who donated all the Viking pennants that you see in these pictures. The seniors went from one end zone to the 50-yard line, and the kindergartners went from the other end zone to the 50-yard line, and exchanged gifts representing Viking spirit, but also that they matter. And each child received a bracelet that says "You Matter." And there's Charlotte speaking in front of all the people. And then these are the children that came together to a senior to exchange those gifts. And I think I see a Grover in there. So thank you. Yes, that's perfect. So, you know, you can see the joy being shared, the spirit of passing on the torch to young kindergarten Vikings who I believe graduated in 2038. Is that the math? So, what a great event. And in some cases, you'll see a 12th grader and a kindergartner who are brother and sister or siblings celebrating together. You see a lot of great spirit here. There's some type of country song that's played that brings everybody to tearful reflection. I wish. But really a great event, and we thank everybody, and particular thanks to Cheryl Kenner, first grade teacher here, who shared this idea with us a year ago. We're very proud of that. And here are just some more close-up pictures of the seniors and kindergartners hanging out together. So really, really great event. And then the Powder Puff game was outstanding. As Charlotte said, the seniors did win. So you'll see a lot of seniors in pink. And then the homecoming spirit assembly, of course, is always a joy. And we want to thank Mike Murray for stepping in for Kevin Murray to do the blue and white traditional events and excitement. And Mike Murray did a great job of that. So that's all. Thank you so much.
To go to what everybody said, and I just want to add our activities for our athletic hall of fame inductees that we did this weekend at halftime. The football game on Friday and the luncheon on Saturday. It's always great when we honor our past graduates. Yes. So with that, I just want to announce our next fun-filled board meeting on November 3rd. That will be at Creek Road Elementary. And with that, we will call in the meeting at 8:29. Can I get a motion, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.